Clients often approach us when they're trying to tell their brand story in a visual way. And one of the challenges is aligning on what that story is early on and in a way that addresses the needs of multiple stakeholders and multiple audiences. Today, this collaboration happens virtually, but that's something we've always done at Curtis Learning. The virtual collaborative environment is a tool for innovation. It's a forum where medical, marketing, and training can come together and have a consistent voice and tell their story in a way that's going to resonate across multiple audiences.
I come from a background in biomedical research, and I feel like that really gives me a strong appreciation for the science that goes behind each brand's story. And storytelling is really an essential component of that process because really, your science is only as effective as it is effectively conveyed.
Through our collaborative approach, biotech clients are able to see their images elaborated in real time. We end up with an image which becomes the mind's eye of the team.
Imagine developing an illustration for a company website, and medical affairs and training start to weigh in. And the process allows us to start to see how this visual science can be used in other ways.
All right, guys, thanks for joining today. Our goal is really just to start the conversation and talk through priorities.
Yeah, so for me, for the field-based team, when it comes to the foundational training, what I'm going to need is content around MOD and MOA.
I'm gonna need similar content for a Med Affairs group and the HCP-facing slide decks. It would also be great to layer in a visual for where each class of agents is active.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
The external facing website is going up at the end of the month. So I'm really going to need some information that's going to kind of cover disease and MOA. So as soon as we can get that, I'd appreciate it.
Well, what we did here was to gather all of those relevant stakeholders together from the start. So we had someone from training, medical, and marketing on the line, and we were able to really listen to what their priorities were in terms of training and educating their audience. One was, what's the first use case? Who's the audience? And then the second was, what's the story that we're trying to tell? What was the learning objective, essentially? And that informs the style of the art, the language that was used, and, ultimately the level of scientific detail that was incorporated.
Cool. So I think that covers it on content. And let's just decide now what to prioritize.
Yeah, can we talk about timing for a minute? What are your milestones?
Yeah, market. Like, when do you need this stuff?
I need it at the end of the month. We have to work it at the end of the month.
All right. Well, if marketing needs their materials that quickly, I think we all know who's going to be first in line.
The visual science pieces that we create for external marketing have a tremendous amount of scientific accuracy and detail in them. And what we do is we extract from them those images and we use them in a simpler form in internal sales training and medical affairs illustrations. They have a different purpose and they need to be didactic. They've got to have labels, leader lines, arrows, and very often we have to tell much more science in a much smaller place.
After we align with the client on their needs, our team works offline together to create a first draft that we can then serve back to them and ensure that it's hitting their needs.
I added more demyelination.
Okay, perfect. Yep, that looks awesome. And I think we need to add in, some myeloid APCs. So maybe a macrophage would be perfect. And then a plasma B cell, if we could throw one of those in there as well.
Okay, and is the macrophage eating something or is it just hanging out?
We don't need to show it engulfing anything.
Okay.
And I think if we could scoot both of those immune cells more into the foreground,
okay,
so they're really hovering over where all of that demyelination is happening.
This one there, this one down here, maybe like that.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay, and this will be macrophage and this will be the B cell.
Everyone should have received the first draft of the illustration prior to today's call. And really our objective for today is just to start gathering all of your comments and feedback. Andrew, if you don't mind pulling up that screen share. Awesome, thanks. We can just go ahead and start incorporating that feedback in real time here.
We can do this live?
Yeah, we can do it live. It's actually a lot better to do it live, so that we can respond to your feedback live and make the changes right there.
I'll tell you, I really like the clean, simple imagery in the background, the healthy myelin sheath, and then as you move forward, you got this demyelination up in the front where all the immune cells are. It looks good.
I see what you're saying there, but is there any way we can make it more apparent that the demyelination is bad?
Yeah, we can do that. In fact, Lauren and I talked about it ahead of the call, and I'll just scrub in here what we have.
Oh, wow.
We
That's
added
even
this
better.
we worked on this ahead of time. This is just
That's really good.
sketch right now. Now, in the next call, we can show you where we've dialed this up or down based on whatever we decide today. It's our job to craft an image that tells the viewer where to go within the image and what they're supposed to learn there. We are responsible for guiding the viewer's eye through the image. Everything can't be of equal importance, right? It's like reading a letter that's in all caps. It doesn't work. So you have to focus. You've got to direct the viewer. You have to say, none of this is important. This is important right here. This thing, and then this thing, and then this thing. And we do that by adjusting contrast, the level of detail, the level of focus. We slightly blur, desaturate, and gray everything that's not important. And it forces the viewer to look in certain parts of the image. Yeah.
I like that lava thing right there. Is there any way we could kind of dial that up just for the overall drama?
Yeah, so in terms of drama, the way to do it really is to focus the viewer's eye up front by darkening the background. Really, and this is what I would do.
Wow.
And I've been wanting to do this all along. Or I guess we knew we were going to get to this point all along.
That's
So
really
something like
nice.
that. Really focus the viewer in on the front of the image.
Well, it really is a fun and effective process. We get the benefit of collecting feedback while all of the key stakeholders are on the line, and the client gets the benefit of seeing that feedback implemented in real time right before their eyes.
Andrew, you got it. That's the drama I was looking for right there.
That's it. That is it. The drama is there for sure, and I feel like we're really on point with the MOD.
Good, awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be really helpful as the team starts to think about what we need for the Med Affairs booth and the HCP decks.
And guys, focusing on like the training pieces, just want to make sure this is going to look different, right?
Yeah, it will. It'll be more instructional and educational going forward and dial back the drama a little bit. That's usually what it is.
We've talked about it, Tina. It'll be aligned to the objectives we discussed earlier.
To me, it's really exciting when the client sees that high-res image for the first time, because they've gone from knowing what the general look and feel of the illustration is and how we're going to incorporate their feedback to seeing a fully cinematic version of that image come to life. And there's a real wow factor behind that everybody gets excited about.
It never gets old. I really am very lucky to do what I love. My great passions are science and art, and I'm able to do those on a daily basis. It is very gratifying to know that my work will end up in illustrations that may eventually help patients in the future.
It's easy to see in this example how bringing together marketing, training, and medical affairs allows us to answer some fundamental questions around what is this brand story and how do we communicate it consistently across multiple audiences? It's really about stakeholder engagement and alignment early and often throughout the process. And when that's done, and when we can do that consistently with a team, it produces amazing results.